Like I promised, we're here watching his newest video where he got canceled for the... Does anyone have a tally? Does anyone have a counter of how many times he's been canceled? Because I've lost track. And you know what? Bro's gonna get canceled again. He's like Phoenix Man, bro, from One Punch Man. He don't give up. New form, new power. Every time he gets canceled, bro gets back up. If you haven't done your homework, basically, well, we covered a video yesterday explaining what's going on, right? What's going on? Well, Nicholas Light basically told every animator should just just not work on anime ever again because of what happened with the most recent One Punch Man episode, and it was really bad. And it just kind of made me just... I was shocked by that statement because this is all a game. And obviously there's a lot of politics involved. And up until now, there was a win condition of how much Nick, hated One Punch Man. At least that was directed at the production committee. But now he's kind of doing a mask off and including everybody. It's a very interesting play right now. And I don't know how it's going to play out. Let's listen to his side to understand why he did this. Why he did this.
Another day, another enemy. Another enemy in the anime industry. First, it was the One Punch Man director. Then it was Trash Taste, other YouTubers. And now...
One Punch Man director... Hashimoto, I guess, right? It's kind of funny because Hashimoto came out and basically made that statement saying all international, viewers are just watching illegally. He doesn't know Muse Asia or other legal sources exist. And he basically condemned all the valid criticisms and the actual haters together. And that was a mistake. And that's kind of what Nick is also doing right now on the other side of the coin. Trash Taste stuff, I think it was directed at Nick. The whole Gachi Akuta stuff, right? With like Connor and Joey and Giga. I forget who said it, but they didn't want, Nick's name to be mentioned. It was like a little subtle reference, right? And other YouTubers, that's me. Always covering, always going to be objectively honest and truthful about this shit.
Oh, it's another director that actually worked on a good anime, One Piece. So I'm not going to waste your guys' time, okay? We're going to get straight to it. This ain't Farmland Saga, Thorfinn. Oh, no. This is Season 1, Thorfinn.
All right, good.
I'm out for fucking blood. One Piece episode.
Yeah, bro's favorite anime is, Vinland Saga, apparently. It's crazy because isn't like the main theme of Vinland Saga like, you have no enemies? It's about humbling and maturing yourself and becoming composed and enlightened to the point where you understand the cycle of violence, revenge, and it is a hollow path. What happens after you're done with your revenge? You're empty. Live a better life, fulfill yourself, settle down with the family, have a loving community, and cherish your life. Have no enemies. See you in Valhalla. I don't think he likes season 2 that much. I think he's a season 1 enjoyer,
Director and known animator Henry Thurlow bashes Nicholas Light and new tweet. Unhelpful, uninformed, disrespectful take to the artists. Oh, not the artists. I don't know what this Henry dude's talking about. There were no artists on One Punch Man Season 3, especially... Oh, wow. Okay, so animator, they're not even artists. They don't even count as artists because of the shitty product. I don't know what this Henry dude's talking about. There were no artists on One Punch Man Season 3, especially not the latest episode. So this is the tweet, the big tweet that everybody's talking about right now. 500,000 views on this shit. Dear everyone that worked.
He deleted it. Maybe he'll explain why he deleted it. He deletes tweets all the fucking times though, but this is the tweet, right?
On the newest episode of One Punch Man Season 3. Never work on an anime again. You're a disgrace and should be ashamed of yourself.
I think this tweet is extremely inflammatory. I think that it is too far when distinguishing everyone together, right? I do agree that there are so many issues with this anime. The recent episode was garbage. It's inexcusable. But we know that the animators have been given an impossible task. Nick himself is also aware of that after he was enlightened of the production committee. So I just don't understand why he would say the statement after he has already acknowledged who the real person to blame is. That's what I'm really confused about.
Now, if you don't know why I wrote this, it's because I watched the latest episode of One Punch Man Season 3, and it was an abomination. I felt disrespected. I'm sure a lot of people felt disrespected. But you know who was mostly disrespected?
The people working on this. Because of your tweet. Come on, right? Like you can't shoot the gun and then not expect other people to shoot back. Like what do you think is gonna happen when you make this tweet, man?
The creator, the author. I wrote this in total disgust, total anger.
I can't wait for the author of One Punch Man to come out with a statement disavowing Nicholas Light on Twitter. Imagine that actually happens. I mean, it's kind of crazy how much pull this guy has, though, right? And obviously, we make a Nicholas like drama video. The views are great, and that's why I'm honestly kind of happy whenever he crashes out and doesn't better himself. Like I say, I'm Ryuk and he is Light. If you know about Death Note, it does feel like I'm just like observing this guy just crash the fuck out and just covering it in like an objective, neutral way. And it's kind of fun to watch, but at the same time, like this is kind of not really like part 1 Death Note Light. He's not really cooking. This is like the end, you know, where Light is in the warehouse with Nier, and it's just like, oh no, what's going on?
The fuck did I just watch? You have this Henry guy saying I'm disrespecting artists. I don't think any artist worked on this latest episode.
But like, here's the thing. There are capable, talented people working on these episodes that's been given a shit fucking schedule to not be able to properly deliver. How many times do we have to go in with this example of, let's say, Gordon Ramsay, hey, make this fucking beef Wellington in 30 seconds. It ain't gonna come out right. Your favorite artist that has been on part of, you know, many, I guess, anime episodes like One Piece, for example, right? Even like Henley Thurlow or like Vincent Chancellor, like, could they deliver if they had this much time? I don't think so. So I just don't understand this argument.
That is what this tweet is directed towards. It's the latest episode, which, if you didn't know, was actually outsourced to different companies.
True.
So the people that usually...
This happens a lot with different, you know, projects, right? And different episodes of One Punch Man. Many episodes of One Punch Man has been outsourced, and yeah. So then what is it? We're only like if the win condition here was basically fuck the outsourced animators for this episode, it would be a lot more palpable than this broad statement saying everyone working on it.
Work on One Punch Man season 3, they didn't work on this episode. So I simply said, everybody that worked on this episode, it's horse shit. Never work on an anime again. Maybe I should have been specific. Maybe I should have.
Yes. You should have. That's the big issue. And I feel like he did this intentionally, knowing the fallout that was going to happen, knowing the video that he could farm from it, right? So intentional rage baiting, I think that's plausible. And I would hope it's intentional, because if you're doing this out of ignorance and you're genuinely not aware, like, there's no way you're that stupid.
Said, never work on One Punch Man again. So you know what? I'll take anime out. I'll replace anime with One Punch Man, because nobody wants you to work on One Punch Man again.
Okay. I still don't agree with that, because like the argument here is it's not about never work on an anime again. Even if you replace it with One Punch Man again, given like a proper schedule and time, it would be a completely different product. Like, the talent is capable of doing it. Yeah, I understand there is an outsourced episode, but like, there's still the people working on it. Not just the outsourced, but like in-house members too. Like, they are capable of doing it. So this argument, just don't work on another anime, don't work on One Punch Man, still doesn't really excuse any of the unfairness being brought in this tweet. Because again, you have to acknowledge that like basically, if you have acknowledged that impossible standards has been given to not be able to deliver no matter what talent was there, then how does this solution possibly make sense? Like, you can't condemn them for something that was already impossible from the beginning. No amount of talent, no matter who you slotted in, could have delivered a product that you could have been happy about.
Again, I don't care about this artist code where we have to respect every single artist just because of the hard work they put in.
But here's the thing, right? Like, I understand that there are instances where artists are fucking around. Like, I think he mentioned like the commissions, you know, like Twitter artists, you know, indie artists taking commissions, taking fuck time, you know, to basically deliver and stuff like that. But this is different. This is the Japanese animation industry with a lot of different context and a work culture that I don't think would ever amount to the example that Nick's about to give.
It's shit. It's shit. And I'm going to call it out for being shit. So let's talk about this. Let's start our...
But like, if it's shit, it's shit. You call it out, it's shit. Everyone is doing that. I say that all the time too. How many times have we said that the anime is garbage? Plenty of people that also hate on Nicholas Light are also on the same page that the anime is shit. You can call it out. But when you then unfairly round up everybody into this and say, don't work on an anime, don't work on One Punch Man again, like, it is just an unfair absolute statement that no one can get behind. The messaging behind this is very weak, and that's why I'm saying this is a very bad play, Nick.
Shit. And I'm going to call it out for being shit. So let's talk about this. Let's start our response to Mr. Thurlow. Unhelpful, uninformed, disrespectful take. To artists who are probably right now working their asses off and pulling all-nighters to make sure the episodes make it to air on time. So are you talking about the anime industry? Are you talking about other anime? Or are you talking about One Punch Man season?
All everything. This is an industry problem. This isn't a One Punch Man specific problem. Many of the other projects, even To Bait this year, everyone's forgetting about, which is objectively worse than One Punch Man. They all suffer from this shit.
Season 3. I highly doubt you are watching One Punch Man Season 3. But what I've been saying is directed towards...
Like, even if Henry is not watching One Punch Man, made this tweet, and then watched One Punch Man and saw how bad the anime was, he wouldn't change his mind, because this is about understanding how it's impossible to deliver, and that these are sacrificial lambs being sent to the slaughterhouse each week. And it doesn't help when people like you with the massive following come out and then shit on the people who have to go into the slaughterhouse again. It's about having like basic common human decency. Just some base dignity. No one's saying virtue signal. No one's saying you have to like praise them and say pat on the back. They're just saying, just leave. You know, just leave it. Why do you have to go out and pour oil on it? It's already nasty. Everyone is aware of the situation. It's just pour all around. So how does it make sense to go there and fucking spit on the faces of people who are already fucking dying? It's just in bad spirit. It's in such like bad faith that, again, it's so harder to support Nicholas Light's cause at this moment. Because leading up to it, there's some level of like, yeah, no matter how nasty he's being, he is ultimately mad at Bandai Namco. But now you're twisting the words and doing mental gymnastics to bring other animators into it too. I just don't get that logic. It's so hard to support.
Specifically One Punch Man Season 3, and more specifically this past episode. You're telling me they were pulling all-nighters to get that episode out.
Yeah, that's why it's so garbage. It's such a shitty rushed project that after they did all that, it's still garbage. That's how bad the state of affairs is.
I truly believe they barely put an hour of time into that episode. Animators' work be put out. Ironically, this past episode. You're telling me they were pulling all-nighters to get that episode out. I truly believe they barely put an hour of time into that episode.
See, I would agree with you if this was not Japanese work culture. I would agree with you. I feel like these are the words of someone that has experienced, you know, Western North American work culture and you know, indie artists taking commissions and whatever, fucking around, you know, stalling and delaying just to get their paycheck. But this is a totally different country with a totally different work culture and work conditions and like a set of values. Like I wouldn't think that the Japanese animators would ever fuck around, put in the least amount for a project they already shared. But what's the logic? Why would they fuck around? They know that it's already bad. So would they just fuck around just so that they can get an easy paycheck? Do you think they're getting paid much for this? None of this shit makes sense. I think they're honorable people who do this, you know, without getting paid for the love and passion of it. For them to have this entitled mindset like a fucking Western game dev who's trying to make fucking woke games that no one cares about. This like false equivalency makes no fucking sense to me.
Animators work because they love the craft, that it breaks their hearts when it doesn't turn well. Well, watching the season broke my heart. What about my heart? My heart means less than theirs? I am so sick of this.
No. Your heart, you as a worth as a person is not like every life should be cherished. But what they're not like One Punch Man giving you these episodes is not the same as you then harassing people online with these statements and then your fucking crazy delusional schizos them, you know, brigading off with that. I know he's not doing a call to action to say harass people, but making these statements are not helpful. And like, again, another false equivalency. You getting a shitty episode of One Punch Man, I know it sucks. It's terrible. But when you then go out and do this shit, like to equate these at the same, it's ridiculous to me.
Way of thinking. We have to respect all artists, the sacrifices. It's their fucking job. If the industry is so terrible and they have such a terrible time at their job and they can't handle criticism,
just
then
quit.
Find a different job.
How are we making these statements after he literally made a video talking about how entitled QT Cinderella was and has no understanding and so out of touch? Are you serious right now? You're just gonna say get a different job? And you know what? Objectively, that's probably true. Better for most people in that industry in terms of their livelihoods. It's not worth to stick around in an industry that abuses you for passion, that you get paid little to nothing. But that's why I cherish them even more, that they're willing to sacrifice themselves to put in, you know, effort into an industry that's so fucked up but still deliver. To tell them to just get it. Yeah, just it's kind of like telling a homeless person, just get a house, bro. What are you doing? It's like these answers seem simple to you, but when you really think about the context surrounding it all, an industry problem, just tell them to just walk away, just leave. Or are they going to get another job? How many years of their life have they already poured into investing into this, learning this craft? Just get a job. Nick, do you understand how ridiculous you sound right now? Like, how is anyone supposed to defend this? You sound crazy right now.
You're in the field of art. It's going to be criticized, especially when you do a bad job. It's going to be criticized.
Yeah, but like criticizing art versus just like hating on it with this vitriol is two different things. Like, I don't think you understand like what you're doing is not like what actual criticism is. You can scream and hate and be loud in your videos for entertainment. It's funny, but you make, you know, tweets like this. You like actually like identify people and say it's inexcusable and it's bad, even though you understand why it's bad. Like, these are not like if the assumption, right? So if the assumption is that the animators are bad no matter fucking what, and that they truly are evil, selfish, greedy pigs who are fucking around on One Punch Man, for what reason? You think like Japanese people who have so much pride and honor in their work would want to attach their name onto a project that is so fucking bad and under-deliver? That makes no sense to me. None of this shit fucking makes sense to me. Like, this perspective only works when you approach things with zero benefit of the doubt given. And that's the thing I've noticed about Nicholas Slight, which is really unfortunate. Because how many times do you see me giving this guy the benefit of the doubt? Because I actually want to believe that there is good in people, and that like people like Nicholas Slight, who is at the top of their game, get so much harassment that they become radicalized. Of course, those harassments are usually, you know, brought on by himself, but I can understand how a person can make mistakes and that like he's not in the right state of mind. But I've never really seen him ever give people benefit of the doubt. He immediately assumes the worst of something situation, generalizes it, creates a big drama out of it, gets called out for it, then paints himself as the victim. Like, how many times have we done this cycle over and over again? It's just not helpful. It's not conductive to anything.
If I'm a rapper and my fans expect quality content and they were waiting 6 years for a new album just for me to give them 1-minute songs that were complete shit,
then they would be mad. They would say, fucking quit, you suck, you loser. But if those fans then realize that you actually didn't have 6 years to make something, you only had like 6 months or whatever timeline that was made. And at that point, an actual fan that is like understanding of how this shit works would realize you were set up to fail. The production committee, the labels or whatever, set you with the schedule that's unfair and you were the sacrificial lamb. I wouldn't blame you. But notice how this example, again, is conveying every single entity together, the production committee, the animators, so that it's easier to just blame and generalize.
The right to call me out on that shit. They have the right to say how terrible it is. Oh, but what if management was holding you back and you only had a week to work on the album? They don't care. They just want a good album from me.
I know, the end consumer just want a good album, but like, and I agree. I agree that like, at the end of the day, you can't expect the world to coddle around you. You need to work around people. People are going to be nasty. There will be no mercy. But but here's the thing. You don't have to make it worse. You can acknowledge that people are going to be fucking nasty and selfish and entitled and the consumer simply wants the end product, but you don't have to make it worse. You can actually use your platform and educate people on what the state of affairs is. And rather than negatively engagement farming every fucking week, you could actually try to like make some peace and quench the current situation and have a better productive way of like having a different One Punch Man anime start through, I don't know, GoFundMe, charity rolls. I don't know, do some fan funded projects. I don't fucking know. There's got to be other options than just shitting on this over and over again.
It's been a long time. They're a fan of mine. You don't see other musicians and musical artists like, stop criticizing this person's music. It's beautiful. It's amazing.
Because I don't think that those music examples you're giving has the same conditions as a Japanese animation industry. You're comparing two impossibly different things and then trying to say that there's a consistency in these examples to prove yourself right. None of that shit makes sense.
Amazing. The all-nighters they put to get it out for you guys. Well, maybe instead of pulling an all-nighter, they should have went to bed. I honestly put together a better...
And if they went to bed, you know what would happen? You would shit on them even more. The episode will be even more chopped and it would be more bad. And maybe you would have an actual call to action for even worse things. Like it's fucked if you do, fucked if you don't. So if we can acknowledge right now that like, yeah, they might as well just go to bed, but they still decided to work on it. Doesn't that mean that like they care? No matter how bad a product is, that they're willing to put some effort into it, no matter how fucking fucked it is. And at that point, you would still shit on them. It's so distasteful. It's so unsportsmanlike. It's just common human decency that is missing. There is absolutely no sympathy, no empathy, no benefit doubt. You assume the absolute worst of these people, demonize them. For what though? Do you believe in these things actually, though, after everything you've learned?
One Punch Man Season 3, sleeping in my dreams than what they were able to do. This is the same type of shit that other animator said a few weeks ago.
Hashimoto. You know what? But like, you're saying it right now. Like, that's crazy to me that you are making a broad statement, generalizing everything, not separating the thing. What Hashimoto did, you know, about international audiences. Do you not see what you're doing right now?
Basically telling everybody that we're not allowed to have an opinion because they're working hard on the season and we should be grateful. Fuck that. Can you imagine this happened with One Piece? If the biggest moments in One Piece, like Gear 5, looked like One Punch Man Season 3,
people will be mad and you would be doing the same shit and things would be nasty. Yep. It would be even bigger disaster. And I think that at that point, even more shit like this would happen where other One Piece creators would come out and call you out on this behavior because they don't believe in it.
Telling me people wouldn't be saying what I'm saying right now. Fire these motherfuckers for ruining.
I think there's going to be other people who are going to pull in to take advantage of a shitty situation, acting like they are like crusaders, that they are here to save the state of affairs. But at the end of the day, they're simply rage baiting, farming engagement out of a shitty situation, making things worse for everyone else at the cost of harassment of the people who actually make this shit. And I think that as many of those creators would do that shit, I think even more other creators would condemn that and come out to call that shit out. There would be more Henry Thurlows in my example.
Ruining Oda's masterpiece, for ruining one of the most popular, if not the most popular anime of all time. Are you gonna stand on the front lines and say, these people are trying their best? You don't understand how—
Yeah. It doesn't matter how hype and how much, you know, greatness the IP of an anime is. If they were put under the same circumstances, it was impossible to deliver no matter what. I would say this fucking sucks. This is terrible. This anime is garbage and we deserve better. But there's nothing that could have actually been changed. And we need to look at the root cause rather than blaming the fucking warrior sent to the trenches as a sacrifice.
How hard artists have it. Listen, Mr. Thurlow, nobody put a gun to this director's head and told him to direct a season that was similar to a ship sinking. No one told him to go out to that ship and try to save it when everybody knows it's fucking sinking. It's beyond repairing. It's beyond saving. But this director chose to swim out there to try to save this sinking ship. And then he got a bunch of people to try to save the ship as well, and they're all sinking with the ship, and they're all screaming out, why is nobody helping us?
Yeah, and at that point, would I then start screaming at the people sinking when they had good intentions to help? First of all, before we get more into this example, I want you to acknowledge that, like, Japanese work culture, how many times I have to say this? An option is not an actual option. In the work culture that exists in Japan, in the society that exists in Japan, where you're supposed to simply put your head down and just accept whatever and be part of the hive mind. If a production committee sent you this project to you and you declined it, I think you get blacklisted. For sure, I'm not saying that this is a fact, but I'm simply using my opinion and my understanding of Japanese work culture and corporate work culture in a nutshell, and how this example is like a shitty situation where it's like, hey, just fucking eat the poison for us. You're the sacrificial lamb, take it. And if you say no, maybe you get blacklisted from further projects, you get fucked over. Bandai Namco might, I don't know, say no to JC stuff. I don't know. I'm just trying to like think of like why this could have happened rather than immediately assume the worst, because the benefit of the doubt, I think, is such an important thing. Rather than assuming the absolute worst of people, try to reason why this actually happened, right? And if you actually use your logic and think about the circumstances involved, it makes a lot of sense why this could have happened. And even beyond that, this whole sinking boat analogy, you're really going to shit on the people sacrificing their lives? Like they can't save the boat. The ship is sinking and they're saying, help, help. I'm going to turn a blind eye and say, this is an impossible thing. It sucks, and walk away. You're going to put the fucking camera out and say, look how bad these fucks are for engagement. Like, how is this sensible? How is this like reasonable?
While you have me on the dock laughing my ass off. Why did you go out there? Why are you trying to save that ship, you fucking idiot? You expect me to sacrifice my life to go?
No, I don't expect you to sacrifice your life. I don't expect you to get into waters. I expect you to not make fun of them. I expect you to not then bring other people and say, look how shitty they are saving this ship. The more that you actually explain this analogy, the worse it paints a picture of you. This is a terrible analogy. This doesn't help you at all. This analogy is making me understand that like this situation is actually even worse than I thought.
Save him? I'm gonna say that was a stupid decision. And now you gotta deal with the consequences. It's like when I do something.
But here's the thing, the consequences, absolutely. It's a shitty situation. There are gonna be consequences. You don't have to make it worse though, right? That's the thing. It's like, it's such a pitiful existence being the animators, and it's like a slaughterhouse, but you still shit on them and spit on them for engagement. And it's so hard to rally on that cause. It's not righteous. It's not just. It's unfair. It's very like cruel. It's just nasty behavior. How could you expect people to support you on this?
Something dumb or say something dumb. I say a lot of dumb shit. I do a lot of dumb shit. I gotta pay. I gotta deal with the consequences. And I understand that completely.
Okay, at least there's that, right? I think that Nick is free to say whatever the fuck he wants. Just don't be surprised when other people clap back or call you retarded for pretending to be retarded, you know?
I understand that my big mouth is gonna get me a lot of shit online, okay? And in the past, I let that bother me, but now I laugh at it. Now I farm it. You cannot tell me that the animators that worked on this episode, on this season, love what they're doing. And of course you have...
I think they do. I think that the reason that they're choosing to stay with this sinking ship and still put in the effort rather than going to bed like you suggested, I think they do care. It's just that no matter how much they care, nothing could be salvaged. Nobody could do this right now. No matter how elite the talent was, with this time, it's an impossible situation. How does this make sense?
Almost 4,000 likes on this tweet. Everybody replying, probably calling me a talentless, worthless piece of shit, rage baiter,
they are
reaction channel. He makes money off of everybody's work. I mean, more people are watching my videos than the actual season itself. So I'd like to think that I'm more entertaining than the actual animation that we've been getting.
That is an objective fact. Nothing wrong with that. He makes entertaining content. He gets great viewership, sure. But like that's separate from like you being nasty to these people.
Making people laugh, entertaining people, that's talent. One Punch Man, it seems like there's no talent. It's making people laugh, but not for the right reasons. This guy says it's unhelpful.
Again, these examples just make no sense when you think about like the circumstances in the work. It's an impossible deadline, an impossible schedule. Nothing could have been done. Like, I don't get this logic. None of this shit makes sense to me.
Uninformed and disrespectful. Well, I'm not here to be respectful. I'm not here to be super informed and know what the animators are doing at their desks while they're working. That's not my...
But here's the thing. You are aware. Like we talked about this before too, right? But it's like, he's a YouTuber. He's got a big platform. He doesn't need to know, but there's obviously going to be double standards for an expectation from the audience for him to be aware because of the influence he has. But again, he doesn't need to. But the difference here is you are aware. You do know. You have acknowledged it. So why do this 180 right now?
My job is to watch the product and give my review and tell you what I think about said product. My job isn't to understand if the animators are taking showers at night, what their lunch breaks are looking like, if they have a lunch break.
No one's asking that, but like you are aware though. Why are you going in with this logic? Because like you have acknowledged that you are aware of the state of like he figured out what a production committee was this season and was empathetic towards JC staff and the animators a bit with the production committee taking over. But like, what is this?
How many minutes long it is? What the work culture's like? Maybe there's roaches in the building. I don't need to know that, nor do I care. So I completely understand where this guy is coming from. He understands the work life, right? He has to say this. Because if I'm being honest with you, if he didn't feel this way, if he didn't say this, I don't think Japan would want to work with him. Because this is the type of shit you...
Corporate bootlicking. That's right. When someone is criticizing Nick, it's corporate bootlicking. Henry Thurlow can't be accepted onto another One Piece project unless he condemns Nicholas Light, because that's how much Toei Animation cares about Henry Thurlow's opinion about Nicholas Light on Twitter. Come on! You don't believe this. This is a crazy thing to say. This is insane, Schizo. This is literally Bandai Namco has hired me and Senshi to smear you. Come on. Come on!
You have to say... to have a job, to be an animator in Japan. That's why the director can't say, Nicholas Light is right. Everybody that's mad, you're all right. No, he can't say that because he'll be...
I know that he's got a lot of clout and influence, but sometimes, man, it just is a bit ridiculous, huh? You really think that they're aware of your presence and they are sending paid operatives to shame? It's like a bounty on your head. Like you a fucking pirate in One Piece and this is the fucking Navy and Henry Thurlow is a fucking admiral. Like what is this shit?
Fired. The studio can't say anything. They'll be fired. This guy can't say anything because then he won't have a job. So they have to say shit like this. I don't have to say anything. I am my own boss. I say whatever the fuck I want to say. I'm gonna call it how it is. I truly
Yeah, you can say whatever you want. Again, and he's aware that there's gonna be, you know, consequences with the words that he say.
believe that everybody that has worked on this season should never touch One Punch Man again. Was I
Kenichi Aoki, really? Are you serious right now? Even Van Oba? Really? What about the, you know, Hashimoto Gundam mecha scenes? That was pretty good too, right? What about the unknown creditor in the Flashy Flash episode? Like, come on. You don't believe this shit?
emotional in the moment and I said never work on an anime again? Was that wrong?
Yes, it is. And for you to say never work on One Punch Man again is also kind of the same thing. Well, at least this time it's a bit different because now he's not really saying that they should be banned from anime. They should be banned from One Punch Man. So less of a harsh take and something I think more people could get behind on. But at the end of the day, the core fundamental issue is that like you were not acknowledging that it doesn't matter which talent it was, right? You're like your favorite scenes in anime and the people that worked on it put into One Punch Man project with this timeline couldn't deliver. Would you still say the same thing? And if it's yes, then it's like, this is ridiculous. This is actually retarded.
Okay, but I'm here to replace the word anime with One Punch Man, and I will quadruple down on that shit. And I'm not gonna lie, this hurts a little, but I was ratioed on my own tweet by Doodle Lotol. You are barking at the wrong tree. You could be the most talented artist, but if you haven't been given enough time to do your job, this is what happens.
Yeah.
These people are fucking crazy. They are
It's not crazy. These are reasonable, sensible, the most basic lukewarm, double-digit IQ take. An actual retard could understand this. So why are you going against this logic?
actually defending what we've been getting with One Punch Man
No one's defending it. No one's defending it. Again, when you say that it's an impossible condition, that is not defending that the anime was good or bad. No, anime is trash, and I acknowledge that it was impossible to deliver. That's why it's trash. So I'm going to just move on and not just make the situation worse. How do you not understand this concept? Why can't you figure this out?
Season 3. They're using this stupid fucking excuse about time constantly.
Stupid excuse about time. It's the most significant, obvious excuse.
As if it's Bandai Namco in time telling these animators, telling these artists, telling this fucking director to put filters every 5 seconds. This is way beyond animation and time. It's these types of excuses that enables this fucking industry to keep doing what it's been doing. If they know what the timeline is about to look like, and trust me, they all know.
Senshi, do you have that tweet? You know, I think this is actually kind of low-key, like, educational, because the comment right now is about why were those filters being used? These animators are so fucking garbage. I feel like I saw a tweet about like the explanations of the filters, but the tweets might have been deleted, so can't really see it. Do you guys have that example? Does anyone know what I'm talking about? It's a tweet from, I think, Kill Zero. I think that bro was explaining, you know, the logic behind why they are still using these filters, you know, the green RGB stuff. Because Nick right now is basically explaining, it's not that time. You see how they use these RGB filters in a shitty way? Like, this is just proof that they don't give a fuck about this project. And I can't find a tweet right now. I think that the logic that some people were presenting was about how in the animation industry, it's like the art director's choice has already been locked in and how you can't really opt out of it. I don't know. I was trying to understand like why they are committing to the RGB filters so hard, but apparently there was actual reason for it. If someone could actually figure out actual details, let me know.
Know what the timeline is about to look like, and they accept that timeline. They accept that job. You have to deal with people like me that talk the way I talk. Yeah, it's upper management, Bandai Namco production committee. Yeah, it's mostly their faults. Why are you treating One Punch Man, any anime, this is even beyond Bandai Namco, any production committee that treats an anime like this and gives it an impossible timeline? Yes, I blame them, but I also blame the people that accept said timeline.
You blame the good faith people who's trying to save a sinking ship because it's going to sink and it's going to be bad no matter what. Like, again, like the option, like these are not greedy people taking a simple cash grab. These are sacrificial lambs being sent into the slaughterhouse and they are doing it. because they at least want something to be made rather than just it being absolute dog shit, way worse than what it is. I don't know. It's just, when you think about the sinking boat analogy and people willingly going in to salvage it, and then you're going to blame them. Like, I don't understand this. This is crazy to me. The level of victim blaming happening in such a dishonest way without acknowledging the Japanese corporate work culture is beyond insane to me.
To me, they're just as responsible. Nobody's holding a gun to your head. And listen, a lot of people will be like, well, they need the money. It's their job. Okay, if they accept this timeline, if they accept this crunch, they will get paid, but they will also be criticized, which they could actively just tune out by signing off of Twitter. But nobody wants to hear that. They want to make me out to be the enemy.
Well, no, I do agree. I think that they should get off Twitter. I think that Shinpai Naga getting off of Twitter was the best thing he could have done. But you also have to acknowledge that you're making it worse for them, right? And the way that you go on about doing these things is so flagrant that it's hard to support you recently, right? So I acknowledge that, yes, there is individual accountability that they can do to avoid shit. But like, you are actively making it worse in such a dishonest way, in such an unreasonable way that many people are confused. Even your community members are saying this is fucking out of line. So I don't understand. This is crazy to me.
Me out to be the enemy. They want to make me out to be uninformed, unhelpful.
But you are, though. You are uninformed. You're not acknowledging the Japanese corporate work culture. You're saying that you don't even want to be informed, though. You're literally saying, I'm just a fan and I have immunity from being informed. So you are uninformed. And because you're uninformed, you are unhelpful. Everything that you say is ignorant and is coming from a line of thinking that assumes the absolute worst of people, and you are not helping the situation out at all. What Henry is saying is objectively true.
Disrespectful, all because I'm saying what most people are thinking. And because I have over 1.2 million subscribers, now they have a big target they could blame. Well,
that is true. Many people have the same mindset as Nicholas Light, and the fact that someone like Nicholas Light and his platform and influence and reach have these opinions, right? That's why I say, like, this is not just an average person rage baiting into Twitter to the void. This is a real person with real pull that like industry experts are pulling into. And that's why I think that it's even more significant that someone with your power and influence, that you can do this shit. That's why there's a double standard for you to have an expectations for you to be aware, because the more that you spread these uninformed, unhelpful, disrespectful takes, the shittier things are going to be. You're not like changing Bandai Namco's work culture. You're not enacting change in the Japanese industry. You are like basically raising a fire within the local community of anime enjoyers with your takes. And for what though? I mean, I can make videos about it. It's fun. I enjoy the crash out drama videos, but the more I look at this, we're just kind of burning ourselves on fire. Well, nothing actually changes, and it's just shitty overall, and you don't have to do it. There's many different ways we can get views.
Guess what? I don't take anything back. I quadruple, quintuplets down on this shit. The season is ass.
Oh, this is the one. Thank you for the tweet. So this is the one I'm talking about. So I don't know how true this is, but again, just take it for, grain of salt. Oh, he really is a lost cause. He's just being retarded and open now. Not only are they not filters, it takes time to color design these color palette switches. And in production with so little time, they don't have the time to just change them back to normal. So this is the one actual like logical explanation of why they are still doing RGB filters and why Nicholas Light is saying, nah, fuck the time issue. They're intentionally trolling us.
Everybody that's working on it is doing a terrible job. None of them should be working on One Punch Man Season 3 because they knew they had a limited amount of time.
I think that the production committee involved should never work on One Punch Man again. It should be given to a different, production committee that is able to deliver actual talent and schedule that works on it. And the actual talent that may have actually worked on One Punch Man Season 3 can also work on that project, and I feel like it's going to be good. It's that simple. You don't have to tie in animators. Like Nicholas Light, I feel like suffers from dealing in absolutes. And once you deal in absolutes, you've already lost. Why are you doing this shit? All you got to do is acknowledge that there are talented people working on it that simply can't deliver because of the shitty schedule. Fuck the production committee. Everyone other than the talented, animators that are capable of working on One Punch Man should never work on One Punch Man again. That's it. That's literally all you got to say. It's such a simple thing to do, but he doesn't. Not because he's stupid, because he's aware of what kind of words will spread like fire online and the engagement that he can get from afterwards. And hey, man, we're just farming.
They knew they had a crunch to give us a product, and the product is terrible. Why would I want people like that working on something I love so much? Why would anybody want that? I'm about to say something that might get me in trouble.
Do it.
But
say
whatever at this point. You guys know me. You guys know how I talk. And I care less and less
no
every
filters
single fucking day. I hate this obsession with babying artists. You're not allowed to criticize them. You're not allowed to say anything negative.
You are allowed to criticize artists if there was actual proof and like evidence that they're being lazy pieces of shit. For example, if these were like game developers who are fucking around with a budget and time and they're working on some woke bullshit no one actually gives a fuck about and doesn't make good gameplay and it comes out and the game falls, then I'm gonna say, yeah, these motherfuckers, stupid ass devs should never work on a game again. In that context, I think it makes a lot of sense. But that is not the same context as the Japanese animation industry, and it's an unfair comparison to even say that
to them, as if they're these different beings that work harder than anybody in the world. And then I'm hit with the response that I do nothing but sit down and watch anime. So because I go to a basketball game, I can't judge the basketball players. I can't say how.
No, the basketball players literally have all the time to prepare and like do their game. This is a crazy equivalency, right? These examples are so dishonest. It's illogical. None of this shit is actually close to what the fucking case is in the fucking, you know, One Punch Man situation right now.
Terrible my favorite player is doing because I don't know how to shoot a three-pointer. I don't know how to play basketball myself. I don't care about how hard this basketball
That example completely omits the time crunch.
player has worked, how much he has trained, all those sleepless nights. If he's having a bad game, I'm gonna say he fucking sucks, just like any other fan would. But there's something with this world of artists where I can't have an opinion. I can't criticize anything because I gotta think about their feelings. It's not that deep. I just think they're doing a terrible job. They knew they would be doing a terrible job. People are just calling it out. Just because you work hard doesn't mean everybody should get on their knees and thank you. You know.
No one's saying thank it though. No one's saying virtue signal. No one's saying pat them on the back. We're just saying these dudes are being slaughtered right now. They're being killed in front of us and the anime is bad. So let's just like leave. It's such a nasty situation. They're just dead on the fucking side of the street. You don't have to curb stomp them. You don't have to spit on them. Let's just walk away. It's just a nasty situation. Unfortunate. No one's telling you to be the beacon of hope and like basically, you know, protect them and coddle them. They're just saying, don't be nasty. Why are we working in absolutes? Everything he approaches isn't just bad faith absolutes.
Oh man, this is why I'm never gonna get invited to these events, right? And in the past, it did bother me. I'm like, damn, why are all these other creators?
But people like Henry Thurlow are virtue signaling though. Explain to me what virtue signaling is to you. Him basically condemning Nicholas Light for being uninformed, for being disrespectful, for being unhelpful, labeling misinformation, telling animators to never work on an anime again on that individual tweet, that's virtue signaling. So you don't really care about the outcome, you're just mad that he dares to challenge your favorite creator. I think you're a retard. I think that if your like conclusion off of Henry's situation is this, I think that like that's crazy. I think you are delusional and you are using buzzwords to make it sound like these are woke left people that you're trying to condemn, but that means fucking nothing. Like, I don't care. That's a fucking retarded take.
Going to the Crunchyroll Awards. Why are these other creators getting invited to the Video Game Awards? And they're going to all of these places. That could be me. Why is it not me? It's because of this. It's because of this right here. It's because of my mouth.
Yeah, because you are unfiltered and you say shit and you're a brand risk. Yeah, that's it.
And I'm not afraid to use it. I stopped caring about being friends.
Whoa, what'd you say? What'd you say here? Wait. He not afraid to use what?
This right here. It's because of my mouth. And I'm not afraid to use it.
Clip that shit. Nah, that's a clip. Nah, clip that shit out of context. He got that mouth. He got that. You know what? I've been looking at that tattoo on his fucking throat. He that throat goat. He know how to use that mouth.
I stopped caring about being friends with everybody and getting invited to all of these places a long time ago. Because to get invited to those places,
you gotta be PG-13. You gotta be nice. You gotta listen. You can still say what you're. You can still basically like get invited to those things without just like being on your knees, fucking sucking dick, saying, "Oh my god, thank you, animators." They're just saying, "Chill out." And I think that Nick should be true to himself, though. I just wish that he would be more honest with his takes, because everything that he said today is such a false equivalency, things that can't even be compared in equal states. He acknowledges that it's not up to him as a fan to be informed, but when he's challenged by saying he's uninformed, he gets mad at it. I don't understand. Like, it's so genuinely hard to support any of these statements.
you gotta be PR friendly. You cannot have a voice. You can't voice your opinions on these types of things. You have to talk like this guy right here. You have to have the safe opinions about everything.
I don't think this is a woke opinion with Henry being on a collar doing some sort of like assassinated hit on Nicholas Slight because that's how he stays in the good grace of the animation industry. I think that's fucking insane. I think that's delusional. I think Henry Thurlow simply is frustrated as a fellow animator for somebody with such a sizable platform reacting to anime that doesn't even try to understand what's going on, spreading misinformation, and then to come out and condemn that. Like, Nick, do you understand how ridiculous this is? Just like how you say, oh my god, it's always me. I'm the one in trouble. I'm saying all this shit, but people are simply criticizing me because I speak the truth. Isn't Henry speaking the truth right now too? And you're saying this shit to like cover it up? Could Henry Thurlow be actually the unfiltered guy who's willing to basically stand on principle, risking his fucking career and brand and reputation, getting involved in random Twitter drama like this? Do you really think that the animation industry would approve of this kind of behavior? I think that if people are outspoken, even if they're defending animators, like it could be seen as like, this is a problematic guy. I think what Henry is doing is low-key risky, but he's doing it for the passion of what he's doing. And your argument that you're making about yourself can be exactly applied to Henry too. And this does not like contradict anything.
With the sacrifice being yourself, and I won't sacrifice being myself. I'm gonna be unapologetically me, and this is why I get so much shit. People aren't used to this. They're used to this, especially on anime YouTube. Everybody wants to be PR friendly and say the right things, so they're invited to the trash.
No. I mean, listen, like you can say the right things without being nasty about it, and you can also say these base things, you know, without like being like hostile and negative. Like there's like basically in Nick's world, you're either true to yourself and therefore canceled, or you're put on a leash and in order to get invited to fucking Trash Taste podcast. Nah, come on. These are extreme absolutes that you're applying to label yourself as some sort of martyr, that you are basically fighting against, you know, a big group of people who want to censor you. I think these are rational, sensible people that are realizing your takes are fucking insane, and that's it.
Trash Taste podcast. Me, I don't give a fuck about the Trash Taste podcast. I'm not gonna compromise my content just to make industry professionals happy. Say the
like, I think that the way that I present myself is also kind of brand risky, and I think that I'm pretty unfiltered myself. I shoot from the hip, and I will always call out the objective truth. I have no intentions of being on the Trash Taste podcast. I have no intentions of being invited to these anime award shows or whatever. My only goal is to be objective truth and be honest to my community that enjoys anime for what it is. And notice how I conduct myself. Do I get in trouble like this? No, it's because it's not about being honest. It's about the things that you say. I don't think are even being honest, to be honest. I think that you're completely aware of the negativity that fuels these engagement, and you go there and bait. And then you claim and label yourself as this like justice warrior, you know, martyr who is like basically based and is unafraid of anything, and everyone against you is simply trying to censor the truth. That's a ridiculous argument to be making, and so dishonest absolutes to label around. There are plenty of people like myself and others who are willing to speak the truth, but not be so fucking wrong and hostile and negative about it, and are willing to understand, you know, when they are wrong. This is just simply being honest. Like this world where you are just brand friendly censored guy or cancel the truth guy is bullshit to me.
The right things. Respect everybody, y'all. Put the stupid fucking flags in my bio, the pronouns in my bio. I support the current thing. I'm not gonna do that shit, and that's why I get shit.
And you know what you do? You don't support the current thing. I do agree. And how many times have I gone to war with fucking retards with pronouns and flags in their bio? We just had that with the Gotcha Akuta family. But notice what Nick is doing? Two sides of the same coin. You do the same shit, just on the fucking different spectrum, and you can't even recognize that, and it hurts me because I know you're better than this. You're getting caught up in all this emotional bullshit, not really thinking properly, and I don't think this is the best you that I know. This is a terrible way to represent yourself, and I don't think it's helpful for your career.
Especially from people on Twitter that are bending over backwards for the animators to put their dicks in their asses. They look up to them as gods. And I'm not criticizing this dude's work. This dude's work is next to perfect. I'm just criticizing what he said. It's like people want to judge me and go after me because I'm not afraid to use my voice.
They're going after you because you say things that's ridiculous. It's not about honesty. Honestly, the way that you portray yourself as an honest person is dishonest. And here's the worst part. Maybe you are honest. But if I were to believe that you're honest right now, that means that I need to believe that you're an honest retard. Because I think you're smarter than this and you know what you're doing. That's why I'm saying this is dishonest. Like, come on. Why are we playing charades right now? We're playing fucking games right now.
They cannot use theirs because they can't say the truth. They have to attack me for saying the truth. And I'm sure a lot of people like...
And maybe you're attacking him for saying the truth. Maybe people like Henry Thurlow, and I'm doing the exact same thing that Nick is doing. Because just to tell you how ridiculous of an argument this is, Henry Thurlow is the only person that can actually say something of value. He's risking his career to like basically say this shit, and Nick is simply trying to cover it up because he's afraid of the based honesty that Henry is saying. Henry is willing to throw away his career to say something honest, and basically all the people condemning Henry right now are a bunch of fucking virtue signaling woke warriors, bro, on the other side of the spectrum. See how ridiculously easy it is to just flip the coin, think about the principles that you're talking about. Like, it's the same shit. So at that point, let's think about being honest in the logic. Who is more logically sensible here? I think Henry is. And your words in this video have basically confirmed you don't want to be informed. You are uninformed then. And then if you're uninformed, you are unhelpful to the cause. And also at the same time, you are being disrespectful, in which you admit you are. So if all these messages are true, what are you mad about?
Expecting me to apologize, to delete my tweet. You know what? I probably will, because people will talk about it. These people can't stop talking about me. They hate me so much, but they're obsessed with me. Well, I'm going to make them keep talking about me. So get ready, guys. You ready?
I think that Nicholas Light, you know, playing the villain role is actually really funny because it obviously creates more content, and it does get a lot of people talking online. It's great for content. And at the end of the day, from a pure entertainment standpoint, it's beneficial for me, and I think it's also really fun for me to cover stuff like this. It's just that this doesn't really need to be done, and I hope that Nick's mental health isn't going to suffer from this, because the more you engage in this, the more you're going to crash out.
Ready? Watch this. Delete.
Yeah.
Delete. And now they're all going to be in my replies.
Yeah. They're going to say, what happened to the Mr. Base guy? I thought you're so confident in your takes. I thought you're tripling down. Why'd you delete your tweets? And you just say, because it's funny. Because you guys can't keep talking about it. Is this really a strong excuse, though? I feel like this is a man who simply cornered himself into a corner after saying shit that he didn't really mean for the sake of farming engagement, and now that he's getting called out and ratioed and cancelled by so many people online while other people coming out, he's deleting the tweets to kind of lessen the feedback. But you could also say, it's just funny. Haha, I deleted the tweets. Keep talking about me rent-free. But who's living rent-free, though? The way that like Nick engages with random Twitter accounts, again, it's just so crazy to me. Like, are you really just trolling them, or are they trolling you? Like, are you farming them, or are you the one getting farmed and then deleting that shit? What's going on?
To be making their tweet saying Nicholas Light deleted his tweet, but we have the screenshot. We have the secret information. I always say this in response. Everything I've ever deleted, I don't delete it because I'm trying to hide it. I stand on every single thing I've ever deleted. Why deleting it? Not only do I stand on it, I quadruple down on it. So the tweet that got me in trouble today, just because I deleted it doesn't mean I don't stand by it. If you worked on this newest episode of One Punch Man season...
What does that mean, though? I deleted these tweets, and you're gonna tell me, oh, what? Because it's funny. Then why delete it? Because I can. Just to, I can't even understand this.
3, never work on One Punch Man again. And if that hurts these poor animators online, or these fans that want to suck their cocks, then so fucking be it. Sayonara, my PNGs.
I like Nicholas Light. I still like Nicholas Light. I'd like to work in an amicable relationship with him in making content. We can work off of each other, make more drama videos. But I'm also going to be honest. I think this is retarded. I think everything he said in this video is very illogical, and I've explained to you, broken down each sentence, why it is. So many false equivalencies, and things that he gets mad about when he basically confirms that these are the characteristics that he portrays. Everything Henry Thurlow said, he confirms that this is exactly what he is, and as a fan, he has no, basically responsibility to inform himself. But like, really? Are we really doing this? I think that he's getting too close to the sun. This is not the Nicholas Light that is inspiring and motivational. This is the Nicholas Light that's getting caught up in rage bait drama and Twitter crash outs, and this is not the best side of him. I think this is an emotional reaction of him basically cornered into a corner and trying to say shit to basically portray himself as some sort of canceled, uncensorable warrior who's willing to say the shit that no one else is willing to say. But at the same time, is that really the case? There's many other people, including myself, that's willing to condemn exactly what's going on, while at the same time, don't have to spit on the fucking dead guy on the floor, right? So this entire example, I don't know. It's such a weird hill to die on, and I think this is a mistake. If this is a game and we're simply playing games right now, I think this is one of the worst moves that he can make that's going to further alienate his own core audience while at the same time giving more ammo to his haters. And the more that he deletes his tweets, the more that he goes around stuff like this, he thinks that he's farming, and he is farming. I'm farming too. He's going to get the viewership, but with this comes a consequence. And the consequence is more people on Twitter getting ammo, knowing who he is, and brigading and hating on him more and more. And this is a very double-edged sword. There's a reason why Nicholas Light is on top and he's been in different niches and he keeps jumping around. It's because he likes to engage in behaviors that gets a lot of engagement but creates a lot of fallout after that, and it's unsustainable. It's only a matter of time until enough people start to really fucking hate him and tries to get him canceled from the anime reaction space, and he'll have to jump to another space, and it's the same thing over and over again. And I think that for someone like Nicholas Light, he doesn't need to resort to such cheap tactics. I think there's ways to get genuine viewership without this kind of sentiment and saying shit that he may not even actually believe in. Just overall, a mistake in messaging. And even if he says that, like, basically revert the words and basically only say that they should never work on anime, no, they should never work on One Punch Man. Like, again, your favorite talented artist that actually worked on One Punch Man Season 3 with the same schedule, they would not be able to deliver something that makes you proud. So again, an insane example and statement to be making, coming from such an ignorant and misinformed position that labels him more ignorant, and it is unhelpful and unproductive to his career. And I hope that he will change his mind or at least reflect on what's going on so that he can better himself, because I genuinely want to see him do well and for us to work off of each other. But stuff like this, like, what am I supposed to say? Nick has shot the gun, he's holding the gun, smoke is coming out of the gun, there's a body on the floor. And then people expect me to say, wow, good job, Nick. Yeah. Come on, like, what do you want me to fucking say? I'm gonna say he shot the fucking gun.